In recent years, the global Muslim population has seen significant growth, making it one of the largest religious groups worldwide. This increase is not just a demographic statistic, it carries profound implications for cultural, social, and political landscapes across various nations. As we delve into this topic, it is crucial to recognize the challenges and restrictions that Muslims face in different parts of the world. From legal limitations on religious practices to societal discrimination, these obstacles can severely impact the lives of millions. This video aims to provide an informative and thought-provoking exploration of these issues, shedding light on the often overlooked struggles faced by Muslim communities. Understanding these challenges is essential, as it fosters empathy and awareness in a world that is increasingly interconnected yet divided. By examining the specific restrictions imposed on Muslims in various countries, we can better appreciate the complexities of their experiences and the resilience they demonstrate in the face of adversity. This discussion is not merely about highlighting difficulties, it is about recognizing the strength and perseverance of individuals striving for their rights and freedoms. Join us as we navigate this important topic, aiming to broaden our understanding of the global Muslim experience and the challenges that accompany it. In Slovakia, the Muslim population is relatively small, comprising approximately 0.1% of the total population, which translates to around 5,000 individuals. Despite this modest number, the community has established a few mosques, with the most notable being the mosque in Bratislava serving as a cultural and religious hub. However, the rising tide of Islamophobia in the country poses significant challenges for Muslims. Political rhetoric has increasingly targeted this minority group, often framing them as outsiders and fueling negative stereotypes. Such discourse not only marginalizes the Muslim community, but also fosters an environment of fear and mistrust among the broader population. This hostile atmosphere has tangible consequences, as Muslims in Slovakia face various legal barriers that hinder their ability to practice their faith freely. For instance, the process of obtaining permits for building mosques or Islamic centers can be fraught with bureaucratic obstacles, reflecting a lack of understanding and acceptance. Additionally, Muslims often encounter discrimination in employment and social services, further isolating them from mainstream society. As we explore the situation of Muslims in Slovakia, it becomes evident that addressing these issues is crucial for fostering a more inclusive and harmonious society that respects diversity and promotes understanding. In Bhutan, the Muslim population is quite small, estimated to be around 20,000 individuals, primarily residing in the southern regions of the country. The nation is predominantly Buddhist, with the government emphasizing the importance of preserving and promoting its rich Buddhist culture. This cultural focus can sometimes overshadow the presence of religious minorities, including Muslims, who may find it challenging to practice their faith openly. However, Bhutan's approach to religious minorities is generally characterized by a degree of tolerance and coexistence. Unlike many other countries, Bhutan does not experience significant levels of Islamophobia, which can be attributed to the country's unique socio-political landscape and its commitment to gross national happiness, a philosophy that promotes well-being and harmony among its citizens. While Muslims in Bhutan may face certain challenges, such as limited access to religious facilities and resources, the overall atmosphere remains relatively peaceful. The government has made efforts to ensure that all citizens, regardless of their faith, can coexist harmoniously. As we explore the status of Muslims in Bhutan, it becomes clear that while challenges exist, the lack of widespread discrimination highlights the potential for a more inclusive society that respects and values its diverse cultural fabric. In the aftermath of the Sri Lankan Civil War, tensions between the Buddhist majority and the Muslim minority have escalated, leading to a troubling rise in Islamophobia. Historically, the relationship between these communities has been complex, with periods of coexistence often marred by conflict. The Civil War, which lasted for nearly 3 decades, exacerbated ethnic and religious divisions, creating an environment ripe for mistrust. Key incidents of violence against Muslims, such as the 2014 Aluthgama riots and the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks, have further fueled animosity and fear. These events not only resulted in loss of life and property, but also intensified negative stereotypes about Muslims, portraying them as a threat to national security and cultural identity. In response to these tensions, government policies have often marginalized the Muslim community, with increased scrutiny on their practices and institutions. For instance, laws targeting halal certification and restrictions on mosque construction have been implemented, reflecting a broader trend of exclusion. The implications of this growing Islamophobia are profound, as it undermines social cohesion and fosters an atmosphere of fear and suspicion. As we examine the situation in Sri Lanka, it becomes evident that addressing these issues is crucial for promoting understanding and harmony among the nation's diverse communities. India is home to one of the largest Muslim populations in the world, with approximately 200 million Muslims making up about 14% of the total population. However, this significant demographic faces increasing challenges amid rising anti-Muslim sentiments. Over the past few years, there have been numerous incidents of communal violence, such as the 2020 Delhi riots, which resulted in the deaths of dozens and left many injured, predominantly from the Muslim community. These violent outbreaks are often fueled by discrimination and social ostracism, leading to a pervasive atmosphere of fear and insecurity. Additionally, Muslims in India frequently encounter systemic discrimination in various sectors, including employment, education, and housing, further marginalizing them within society. The impact of political rhetoric cannot be understated. Inflammatory speeches and policies from certain political leaders have exacerbated divisions, portraying Muslims as outsiders and threats to national identity. This rhetoric not only legitimizes violence against Muslims, but also fosters a culture of intolerance that permeates everyday interactions. As we analyze the challenges faced by Muslims in India, it becomes clear that addressing these issues is essential for fostering a more inclusive society that respects and values its diverse cultural heritage, ensuring that all citizens can coexist peacefully. In the Central African Republic, the Muslim population is estimated to be around 15% of the total population, primarily concentrated in the northwest and central regions. However, this community has faced severe Islamophobia, particularly during the ongoing civil conflict that erupted in 2013. The violence has disproportionately affected Muslims, who have been targeted by various armed groups, leading to widespread atrocities, including killings, displacement, and sexual violence. Reports indicate that thousands of Muslims have been killed, and many have fled their homes, seeking refuge in neighboring countries or in internally displaced persons camps. The conflict has created a deeply polarized society, with Muslims often viewed as enemies by some Christian militias, exacerbating tensions and fostering a climate of fear. The humanitarian crisis resulting from this conflict is dire, with millions in need of assistance. Access to basic necessities such as food, clean water, and healthcare has been severely compromised, further endangering the lives of vulnerable populations, including Muslims. As we discuss the severe Islamophobia in the Central African Republic, it is crucial to recognize the urgent need for international intervention and support to address the humanitarian crisis and promote peace and reconciliation among the diverse communities in the region. In China, the Muslim population is estimated to be around 23 million, comprising various ethnic groups, with the Uyghurs being the most prominent among them. The Uyghur population, primarily residing in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, is estimated to be around 12 million. In recent years, the Chinese government has implemented a series of repressive measures against the Uyghur community, which it claims are necessary for combating extremism and promoting national security. Reports indicate that over 1 million Uyghurs and other Muslim minorities have been detained in what the government describes as re-education camps. These facilities are characterized by forced indoctrination, cultural assimilation, and severe human rights abuses, including torture and forced labor. The Chinese government's actions have drawn widespread international condemnation, with human rights organizations and foreign governments accusing Beijing of committing genocide and crimes against humanity. The situation has sparked global outrage, leading to calls for sanctions and diplomatic pressure on China to cease its oppressive policies. As we examine the plight of Muslims in China, particularly the Uyghurs, it becomes evident that the international community must remain vigilant and advocate for the protection of human rights, ensuring that the voices of those suffering are heard and addressed. In Angola, the Muslim population is estimated to be around 1.5 million, primarily consisting of immigrants from various countries including Lebanon, Syria, and other parts of Africa. Despite being a minority in a predominantly Christian nation, Muslims have generally experienced a relative lack of Islamophobia, which is notable in the context of global trends. The integration of Muslims into Angolan society has been facilitated by their active participation in various sectors including business, trade, and community development. Many Muslims have established successful enterprises, contributing to the local economy and fostering positive relationships with their non-Muslim neighbors. While there are occasional reports of discrimination, these instances are relatively rare and often isolated. Overall, Angola is characterized by a culture of tolerance and coexistence, where different religious communities, including Muslims, are able to practice their faith freely. The Angolan government has also shown a commitment to promoting religious harmony, which further supports the peaceful coexistence of diverse groups. As we explore the status of Muslims in Angola, it becomes clear that their experience is marked by a unique blend of integration and acceptance, highlighting the potential for a society that values diversity and mutual respect among its citizens. In Japan, the Muslim population is relatively small, estimated to be around 100,000 individuals, including both Japanese converts and foreign residents. This minority faces unique challenges, primarily stemming from their limited numbers and the cultural homogeneity of Japanese society. Incidents of discrimination and social exclusion have been reported, with some Muslims experiencing difficulties in accessing services, such as halal food options and places of worship. Additionally, there have been instances of misunderstanding and prejudice, often fueled by a lack of awareness about Islam and its practices. However, efforts are being made to improve interfaith dialogue and raise awareness about the Muslim community in Japan. Various organizations and community groups are actively working to foster understanding and promote cultural exchange. Initiatives such as interfaith events, educational programs, and outreach activities aim to bridge the gap between Muslims and non-Muslims, encouraging mutual respect and cooperation. Furthermore, the Japanese government has begun to recognize the importance of inclusivity, particularly in light of the increasing number of foreign visitors and residents. As we analyze the challenges faced by Muslims in Japan, it becomes evident that while obstacles remain, ongoing efforts to enhance dialogue and understanding hold promise for a more inclusive society. In North Korea, the Muslim population is extremely small, estimated to be around 2,000 individuals, primarily consisting of foreign workers and a few local converts. The country is known for its strict repression of all religions, including Islam, as the government promotes a state ideology centered around Juche, which discourages any form of religious expression. The regime views religion as a potential threat to its authority, leading to severe restrictions on religious practices. Muslims in North Korea face significant challenges, including the inability to openly practice their faith, lack of access to mosques, and limited availability of halal food. The government's surveillance and control extend to all aspects of life, making it difficult for the small Muslim community to gather or worship collectively. Reports indicate that individuals caught practicing their faith may face harsh penalties, including imprisonment or forced labor. The oppressive environment creates a climate of fear, discouraging open discussions about religion and further isolating the Muslim community. As we examine the status of Muslims in North Korea, it becomes clear that the lack of religious freedom poses profound challenges, highlighting the urgent need for international attention to the human rights situation in the country and the plight of its religious minorities. The Rohingya Muslim minority in Myanmar faces severe persecution, with an estimated population of around 1.1 million prior to the outbreak of violence in 2017. This community has long been subjected to discrimination and marginalization, culminating in a brutal military crackdown that began in August 2017. The violence led to the displacement of over 700,000 Rohingya, forcing them to flee to neighboring Bangladesh, where they now reside in overcrowded refugee camps. Reports of widespread atrocities, including killings, sexual violence, and the burning of villages have emerged, painting a harrowing picture of the Rohingyas' plight. The Myanmar government denies the Rohingya citizenship, labeling them as illegal immigrants, which exacerbates their vulnerability and lack of rights. The international community has responded with widespread condemnation of Myanmar's actions, with various human rights organizations and foreign governments calling for accountability and sanctions against those responsible for the violence. The humanitarian crisis resulting from this persecution is dire, with displaced Rohingya facing inadequate access to food, healthcare, and sanitation in refugee camps. As we discuss the severe persecution faced by the Rohingya in Myanmar, it becomes evident that urgent action is needed to address their suffering and uphold their fundamental human rights. In this video, we explored the myriad challenges faced by Muslims across different countries, highlighting the unique struggles of communities in places like Slovakia, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and Myanmar. From rising Islamophobia and discrimination to severe persecution, these issues underscore the urgent need for greater awareness and understanding of the Muslim experience globally. We emphasize the importance of fostering tolerance and empathy, encouraging viewers to reflect on how these values can contribute to a more inclusive society. As we navigate an increasingly interconnected world, it is crucial to recognize our shared humanity and support one another in the face of adversity. We invite you to engage with this important conversation by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and sharing it with your friends and family. By doing so, you can help raise awareness about the challenges faced by Muslims and promote a message of unity and understanding. Together, we can work towards a future where diversity is celebrated and all individuals are treated with dignity and respect. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to your thoughts and comments on this vital topic.